on getting your programming one class, a lot of material going at very, very quickly. A lot of assignments do very quickly in a very short time frame. So again, congratulations. I'm glad you're here, glad you made it through. Something about me, my name's Charles Martin. I'm the course director for this section you've been assigned to. My name, again, is Charles Martin. Please call me Marty. You can probably see down at the bottom of the recording, it's got my name before it. So please call me by Marty. For those of you that are from a time and place or culture, wherever that doesn't allow you to call me by my first name, I'm fine with me called Mr. Marty, Mr. Martin, Professor. Some students call me Professor, even though it's not actually a correct term for me because I'm a course director, but I'm okay with that, and a teacher. For those of you that are military, current military, I'm also a retired chief. My wife and I both retired from the Navy. You can call me Chief. I will certainly answer that. Again, welcome to Programming 2. Some stuff about Programming 2, it's a little bit different setup than Programming 1. We don't have like 2 or 3 labs due every week. There aren't any practicals. You get 1 lab per week, 1 quiz per week. The due dates are posted in FSO. Please make sure you're aware of the due dates for your section, the section that I teach. It may not be the same as the other course directors. There are multiple course directors that teach Programming 2. So if one of them posts, hey, this is due, check FSO to make sure it matches your due date. We may have a due date earlier or later. What's in FSO for your section? So please don't miss that. My late policy is documented separately in FSO. Make sure you're familiar with it. If you have questions, reach out to me and let me know. Some stuff about Programming 2, again, it's going to be very similar in composition, if you will, to Programming 1. We have labs. We're going to continue on talking about classes and objects and methods, or if you don't like the term method, function, even though method is a function that's in object-oriented programming, it doesn't matter. But we're going to keep that up. We're going to use vectors. You're going to be provided pseudocode from some of the labs. You have to implement, so you have to make sure you follow those instructions, follow it the way it's written. Again, it's a lot of material, very short time, not impossible. Some important things to keep in mind. We have 4 labs, 1 each week. Most of them, labs 1, 2, and 3, are due on over the weekend, typically on Fridays. But again, as we go forward, that may change. So if you're watching this video and it's sometime in the future, those days may have changed. The important thing here, though, is actually lab 4 is due midweek. The last day of class is typically the Friday of week 4, and we have to have everything submitted for grading by then. We submit paperwork for students who are unsuccessful and they need to retake the stuff. So we need it in a little before that. Make sure you get your lab 4 in on time. Do not assume it's due the same. Like if lab 1, 2, and 3 are Friday, don't assume it's also Friday. That is not the case. It will be due. Again, currently it's due on Wednesday of week 4, so make sure you're aware of that. Again, I want to welcome you to the class. If you have problems, please reach out to me. Again, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I want you to succeed. I don't mean this in a negative sense, but I don't really care what your grade is. It doesn't matter to me. It's important to you for GPA and stuff like that. For me, I just want to be able to do this job. I want you to be able to do it and enjoy it and succeed. That's all I care about. If you're a C student and you can do this, great. If you're an A student, you can do this stuff, great. I've known plenty of A students that actually couldn't do this work. They can get through the test, they can do the assignment, but when you sit them down and say, this is what I need you to do on the job, they're not so successful. So again, I want you to be able to do the job. So that's the important thing for me. If you need to contact me, the absolute best way to do it, the quickest way is going to be using a direct message on Discord. I know some of the other faculty here, so we'll tell you, don't DM me. I don't want any DMs. Put it all in the discussion channel. I'm the exact opposite. I prefer DMs. I want to know if you're talking directly to me, that you're not putting something out in the discussion channel for general consumption. Also, if you're talking only to me in a direct message, you can post code directly there. You can't post code in the public channels, the discussion channels, because that's everyone can see them. If you're sending me a DM, you can post your code to me because it only comes to me. So again, DM on Discord, number one best way. If you try and email me or send me a message on Discord, I'm gonna see them eventually. So that is not the best way to contact me. It's not to say I won't respond to them, but I may or may not check it every day. You're sending stuff to me as a FSO message, that's not clean to me, that's going to all the instructors associated with the class. So I may or may not know that you're talking to me. Maybe you're talking to one of the other lab guys or one of the other course directors. So if you want to contact me, DM Discord. If you email me, I'll know it's mine, but I'll only check my email, once a day maybe. I have to have a reason to check it. So it's generally once a day, maybe twice a day, maybe once in a while log in, once in a while log in. So that's the best way again, Discord DMs. Something, I don't like putting this in the intro, but it happens every single class I've taught here at Full Sail. I have students that just ghost me. Since it's online, they will just quit communicating. They won't send any messages. I'll send them messages, they ignore them. I give them feedback that you didn't submit the assignment or there's no response whatsoever. They just, it's like they fall off the face of the earth and ignore everything. They don't submit anything. Please don't do that. If you're having trouble meeting the deadlines, if you're having trouble understanding the material, anything like that, please contact me. I beg you. You can't succeed without help, and I'm your number one source of help. I know what I'm expecting. I can tell you exactly what I'm looking for, and I try to be really helpful and make sure you can succeed. So please don't go. If you need help, reach out. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're a bad student. It doesn't mean anything negative. It means you need help. I went to college. I had to ask for help. I do a lot of things to ask for help. I'm constantly asking my wife questions. So please, I'm begging you, don't ghost me. Ask for help when you need. And again, the last thing is, again, is welcome to PG2. I hope that my intro there at the end was not too much of a downer for you. We're looking for a really good month, a good term, and high level of success. You guys take care, and again, welcome to Fort Wayne.
Well, to start with the obvious, you just got done demonizing Nigeria to the United Nations on behalf of the President of the United States. I would be as shocked as I am appalled if I could already have an opinion that Nicki Minaj is not necessarily the best human being. There's something about a millionaire non-U.S. citizen who came here as an undocumented immigrant. There we go again with the undocumented. Huh. Did they open a case on her or something? Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
It sounds crazy. It's every day I go outside and say, I just saw Rory in the cafeteria sticking a broom up someone's ass. And then I go on Queen Radio where there's millions of listeners and I said, yo, you know how to do Rory, right? Why I just see him stick a broom up an ass in the cafeteria?
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates. All right, run the clip.
Barbs, I know you're so listening. I love you so very much. You have been the ultimate light in my life and career for so long. I appreciate you, and I want to make it very clear once again that this isn't about taking sides. This is about standing up in the face of injustice.
I got a question. Did she always talk this slow? But cause she be rapping all fast. She always talks this slow.
What I noticed that these people do, and it's so silly, is that they underestimate the dynamics, the multifacetedness of every person, which means that trying to make it about any particular a group of people, it's not going to work. Like, it doesn't work that way. And you guys, first of all, do you understand what I just tried to say, or do I need to simplify it? Yes, ma'am.
Most definitely.
Like, which gay person does not have a mother or family member that, let's just say, if you were to hear about the religion that you were born into, whatever, that
Smart people don't like me. Okay, so this is a consistent thing. Okay, I need somebody to break that down for me.
The illegal immigrant Nicki Minaj has just went and spoke to the UN about Nigeria. And yes, I can say that shit because that is illegal, okay? She does not have citizenship here in America.
Did you say immigrant?
First thing she did was thank her dad.
I think President Trump by advertising this issue and for his leadership in the global stage and calling for urgent action.
Then she said people should not be attacked for practicing their religions. You mean how Christians are attacking every faith in America? Muslims can't even pray without being attacked by white Christian nationalists.
That's right. In fact, I just dropped a whole video about Muslims being attacked here. Not Nigeria, Michigan.
We are gardeners.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Welcome to today. Today where you no longer have to see the world for what it is, what it could be. We will not let our country fall and become like London. We will stand strong against these Islamic invaders. These jihadis will have to go. Christians in America, you need to stand up before your daughters are used in the streets like the animals that they think we are.
Then she says a bunch of other okay? I'm gonna say this, no matter how much y'all feel like she has a reason to be there, she doesn't. Because the conflict is deeper than just Christians being attacked in Nigeria. There's people of the Islamic faith being attacked as well. And y'all like to ignore that because it's Nicki Minaj. She needs a pardon, she needs a green card. No celebrity should be speaking at a fucking UN who's not qualified to be there. This is a fucking joke. No, the Barbies are eating this shit up, but the only reason she's doing it is so she doesn't get deported. And the way she's giving Trump that gun 3,000, she may be the next Kim K.
Or at the very minimum, the next Amber Rose. That's right. You too, Nicki Minaj, can be on Candace Owens' couch crying about how they threw you away.
Candace, because I have tortured myself for 15 years. I've tortured myself with this stuff, you know, and I begged and I've cried and pleaded, please, reach for the stars. Even if, go talk to like maybe more conservative brands, see if they'll give me a chance. They wouldn't give me a chance.
Nicki Minaj has officially gone MAGA. The year is 2025 and Nicki Minaj is speaking at the United Nations in support of the Trump administration. On Tuesday, Minaj spoke at the United Nations mission to the UN about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria, a new right-wing talking point that experts say doesn't address the complexities of violence in the country. After being introduced by a surprisingly emotional Mike Waltz, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, the rapper addressed the situation in Nigeria, President Trump, and even gave multiple shout-outs to the Barbs. Mike Waltz? Wait, is that Signal Gate Mike Waltz? The same one? Well, maybe he meant to invite another rapper. Maybe he was trying to get in contact with Remy Ma or Lil Kim. I think Queen Pen is available. Minaj, who once condemned the president's immigration policy, has come around in support of this new administration, apparently through its concern for Christians in Nigeria. Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Nicki Minaj been playing footsie with MAGA for a while. Let's not pretend. Oh, you mean the same Minaj who had so much smoke for Kamala Harris and the Democrats? You mean that Nicki Minaj all of a sudden is MAGA? Shocking, I know. I'm about as shocked as I am the next time I turn on Fox News and see Stephen A. Smith.
That is blasphemous.
That would also be shocking because it would require me to turn on Fox News. So that would be shocking on multiple levels. Now, let's get a few things straight before we move forward. Africa gets ignored, largely by the entire world. You name an atrocity, and I'll name something that didn't reach a critical mass of attention worldwide until it had been going on for quite some time, be it Rwanda, Darfur, Sudan, the Congo. All of our conversations about Gaza, and prior to that, it was conversation about Russia and Ukraine, and then it was the Syrian refugees. There's been stuff going on in Africa the entire time. The world treats African atrocities the way the U.S. media treats black victims. That's basically, you know, it's got to get to a point where it can no longer be ignored. Then all of a sudden, okay, fine, let's go. Let's get that straight. Let's also get straight that we did see some interest from this administration in Africa. Now, what was it? It was the white South Africans. That's right. That's when we went in and brought in the white South Africans. On the word of Elon said, we went in with evidence that was widely mocked in South Africa, we went and brought in white South Africans in the midst of mass deportation, right? In the midst of ice raids, we went in and brought in white South Africans. And let's also keep in mind, black South Africans were more likely to be victims of crime. Wasn't nobody reaching out for them, but we went and got the white South Africans. And by the way, Magda, because I know that was a big, that was really hilarious to you when he totally did an end around mass deportation to bring in white South Africans and left you with quite a dilemma, huh? I would love for you to weigh in on the white South Africans now that we've seen him weigh in on H-1Bs.
Introducing the GMC Canyon AT4X. Get 3.4% APR on 2025 engine models.
You can't come in, open up a massive computer chip factory for billions and billions of dollars like is being done in Arizona, and think you're gonna hire people off an unemployment line to run it. They're gonna have to bring thousands of people with them, and I'm gonna welcome those people. Now, I love my conservative friends, I love MAGA, but this is MAGA.
Yeah, now we've seen Trump weigh in on H-1Bs. And we know the white South Africans came in with a desire to farm. I would certainly love to hear from the farmers all about how that's going. So this is what we have established, that Africa largely gets ignored, but that hasn't stopped this administration from utilizing Africa in order to push some other agenda. Now that we got that straight, what could this be about?
Nicki Minaj working with Trump admin on plight of Christians in Nigeria. Either she's getting a check, or she was MAGA the whole time, or she genuinely thinks that she's doing something good, which, by the way, is why y'all need to have people around you that know more than you.
But that's supposed to be you. So for me, you supposed to be my person. Now, why you yelling at me? No.
By y'all, I don't just mean celebrities. Everybody should have people around them that they can consult with, that think differently than you.
Not MAGAs. Are you saying we need to keep MAGAs around? We should just have a couple of MAGAs for reference in the garage?
Y'all need to have people around you that know more than you. By y'all, I don't just mean celebrities. Everybody should have people around them that they can consult with, that think differently than you, that hold you in a place of values.
Woo, okay, all right, now thank you, that holds you in a place of value. All right, now hey, release the MAGAs. Yeah, release them out there. I don't care where they go.
Just so you understand what's happening here with the plight of Christians in Nigeria, there is a plight of Christians in Nigeria. However, the U.S., what does that have to do with the United States? The United States is using this as a ploy, as a proxy, to find their way into Nigeria so that they can then find their way into the Sahel states of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, who, as you know, are coming together to begin a process of Pan-Africanism on the continent. They are taking back their resources from France,
attention to what's going on in Africa, which, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in Nigeria.
Nicki Minaj joined the Trump administration at the United Nations to speak about what she believes is the unaliving of Christians in Nigeria. Now, Nicki Minaj aligning with the Trump administration should not really surprise anyone. I mean, Nicki has been Kanye West in a pink wig on Twitter for a very long time. And the one thing that I will give Nicki in this conversation is I believe that she believes that this thing is happening and she believes that she is standing up for people who are being persecuted. Now, I can then take a step back from that empathy space and go, you were severely misinformed as to the nuance of what's happening in Nigeria, number one. Because what is happening in Nigeria is a series of conflicts in which people are, in many ways, whether it's terrorist groups or different community groups, are having these interpersonal conflicts. And some of them do align themselves with the Christian church, but also those same groups are also having conflicts with other groups of Muslims, where there have been unalignments. And so it is reductionist to just say it's a targeted Christian attack, while at the same time we can say that there are Christians who are being attacked. I also said that Christianity has a built-in persecution complex, and I also think that there is like a home-to-holy pipeline that absolutely exists in Black church spaces.
What if you could taste the movies?
We turned that idea into an $11.3 million business with Wix. One movie night we were craving was chocolate cake that we saw on screen.
And we said how cool it'd be to put out an event where people are able to eat what they see on screen.
For the first event, we're literally cooking like 80 cakes out of an oven in my apartment and running like up and down all night. It was wild.
Seeing how successful it was, that's when we realized that this is a real thing. Now we need a real platform to actually sell tickets on.
Our website supports everything for info. We have a huge community of comedian food lovers.
Our events are an immersive cinematic dining experience, and we wanted the website to capture that magic. When planning an event, I'm more focused on the creative. So I will watch the movie a bunch of times and plan the menu and the visuals of everything.
And I'm more on the operations side, so I deal with contracts, finance, and expansion. Our last location that we opened was Portland. We started with 1 or 2 events just to test the waters. And when we saw a huge spike in traffic from the area.
Oh, you done said it. Oh, you done said it. Hey, I tell you this, you better be an altar call. You better be an altar call. Oh, well, you better go off a Christian experience.
I can't believe you said that. Like, holy, it's crazy. And this is where the nuance of the conversation about wanting celebrities to participate in political discourse really gets going. Because, on the one hand, I think it's very important to recognize that celebrities are not coming to save us. No one is. It is up to us to do the work every single day to ensure that we are fighting against fascism. And at the same time, I think it's important that when in this discourse, they're doing so from an informed perspective. Because to me, there's nothing worse than a celebrity who is using their platform, which is usually very large, and spreading some sort of disinformation or misinformation that they are then seen as an expert in because they make good music. Which is where we do land in the silence as an option space for some folks. There are also some folks who are really good at creating artistic expressions about things that are happening, but not good about talking about things that are happening. But ultimately, I can kind of predict what's going to happen is that at some point in the next several weeks, Nicki will start beefing with somebody who's involved with the Trump administration, and then she'll declare that she was hoodwinked and she was just trying to stand up for Christians the whole time. Like, this cycle is a tale all the time. Once again, see Kanye West circa 2019.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't imagine how long this piece with MAGA is going to last. Have fun with Laura Loomer and Lauren Boebert. That should be pretty good. And the ones that really got to be on the lookout is Black MAGA. Oh, boy. You mean the Nicki Minaj who has never seen a bridge she won't nuke, especially if it fails the brown paper bag test? I'll be honest, I couldn't want nothing more for you, Black MAGA. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Enjoy.
Nicki Minaj is the perfect example of why people say all skin folk and kin folk. with the obvious. She just got done demonizing Nigeria to the United Nations on behalf of the President of the United States. I would be as shocked as I am appalled if I didn't already have the opinion that Nicki Minaj is not necessarily the best human being. There's something about a millionaire non-US citizen who came here as an undocumented immigrant.
There we go again with the undocumented. Huh. Did they open a case on her or something?
Supporting the most undocumented immigrant deporting president who literally built a secret police to target people just like her, plus all of the people with weird cases around her, that never really sat right with me. And it's especially interesting coming out of the very public confrontation she just had with Cardi B, where they were calling each other's kids slow and ugly and all of that. Like, I genuinely don't care about Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. Yes, they have their personal issues, but with this development, I've actually come to the realization that I have to pick a side. Cardi B is known to be a low-key politics and history person, and needless to say, that awareness puts her on the opposite side of Nicki Minaj when it comes to politics. And at a time in American politics, when it's literal fascists versus everybody else, it's crazy to think that supporting Nicki Minaj is supporting fascism. But Nicki Minaj really supports fascism.
Well, I can tell you this. You can say what you will about Cardi B, but she ain't never support no fascism. I can tell you that right now. That's an easy, you know what I mean? That's an easy Cardi B for me. I got no problem.
The term puts you in that position by supporting her. And make no mistake, I like Nicki Minaj's actual music more than I like Cardi B's, but I might really just have to go spin that new Cardi album out of spite in light of all it is.
That's right. This woman has made it virtually impossible to listen to Pinkprint guilt-free at this point. And that's if you made it to this point before you got past all of the weird cases.
I am so disappointed in Nicki Minaj for aligning herself with Donald Trump at the United Nations and pushing this so-called narrative about Christianity in Nigeria. Christianity has a long history of being used as a tool of control, colonization, and persuasion, especially against Black people. So to see her participate in that feels off-brand, irresponsible, and extremely tone deaf. And what makes it worse is the timing. The same day the Epstein files are set to be released, Nicki Minaj is suddenly being elevated as a political voice. That coincidence is not an accident.
What? Not Nicki Minaj helping to run interference for crimes against women? That doesn't sound like her. That's crazy. Wow.
As a Black woman, as an immigrant, as someone who has acquired her own citizenship, she should understand why partnering with Donald Trump, a man who has disenfranchised Black communities, harmed immigrants, and separated families, is not something to celebrate. If Trump truly cared about protecting Black lives, he could start in Sudan or the Congo.
I mean, if he cared about Black lives, then he might have gone in to save South Africans. But they had to be white, then, didn't they? They certainly did have to be white. Also, if you care about Black lives, like just name the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, just name. Yeah, bringing in the whole National Guard, trying to change the statutes to make law more punitive while he strips away jobs and calling all of us DEI and unqualified. He cares about Black lives. Oh wait, no, it's the Christian part of it. It's the Christian part of it because he's so religious. It says right there in 2 Corinthians that you gotta go in and make sure all the Christians are safe all around the world. Well, unfortunately, the cost of such bumbling action on the international stage could be great.
Don't compromise quality assurance for savings or your time for disaster. Hit that skip button. Or don't. Want to keep skipping. We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Touch means so many things, even for children with mild to severe eczema. Touch it brings sparkle to a teenager. Or the unspoken language between best buddies. Dupixent can help your child stay ahead of eczema with clearer skin and noticeably less itch as they welcome the feeling of touch. Dupixent helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your child's skin from within. So get allergy reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or parasitic infections. Change your Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and therapists. Help your child feel the heal and see the difference. Reach out to your child's eczema specialist today.
Let me help the Nicki Minaj bars out here in my comments real quick, because the ignorance is loud and the homework is non-existent. Not only are they ill-informed, but outlets like Billboard are spreading false narratives. While you're defending Nicki like blind, ignorant rats, and not knowing what you're defending, the reality is she's parroting false claims pushed by the Fella 47 administration about Christian persecution in Nigeria. And you don't even know what she's talking about. So let me educate you. The claim that Fella 47 keeps repeating is that Christians in Nigeria are facing a government-backed genocide. That the Nigerian state is allowing mass killings, and that the U.S. might need to intervene with guns blazing. Nigeria has violence, yes, but it's not religious genocide. Attackers target everyone. Muslims, Christians, entire villages, whole regions. A lot of it is tied to land conflict, criminal groups, and Boko Haram terrorism, but not some coordinated government plot to wipe out Christians. That's a lie. A political talking point to justify a U.S. invasion. And experts, analysts, and Nigerian officials themselves have debunked it. And let's talk about the part no Barb seems to understand. What a U.S. invasion actually means. If the U.S. went into Nigeria based on this false narrative that Nicki is platforming and advocating for, the cost would be catastrophic. We're talking about destabilization in West Africa, civilian casualties, economic collapse, and a massive refugee crisis. All because a foreign government, the United States, acted on misinformation. Nigeria is one of the largest economies in that continent, with 200+ million people. A U.S. invasion wouldn't save Christians. It would tear the country apart, inflame extremist groups, and punish millions of innocent people. So when Nicki repeats this propaganda, like it's a slogan at the United Nations, she's endorsing something that could cause an international disaster. This is why what Nicki is doing is dangerous, because what she's platforming isn't just concern for Christians. She's amplifying a narrative built on misinformation, one that's been used to justify extreme rhetoric, foreign intervention, and even calls for military action. She's repeating a talking point she clearly didn't research. And here's the embarrassing part. If you're going to defend your faith, at least know what she's actually aligning herself to. Because right now, you're arguing with confidence with zero accuracy. This is about Nicki recycling propaganda she didn't check the facts. And if you're in my comments swinging blindly, you're proving my point for me. Do your homework. Learn what's actually happening in Nigeria. And maybe, just maybe, stop embarrassing yourself in the process.
And that's not to mention the cost to Nicki Minaj herself.
So you guys know that over the last few years, I really tried to be intentional about what I say in public about Black folks. I try to be really careful, but some things require a public statement. And as I've been watching this situation unfold with Nicki Minaj and Trump and Nigeria, I thought it was important for me to say a few things. There are consequences to aligning yourself with Donald Trump and his policies and his evil ways. There's consequences. What we know is that as he turns his attention to Nigeria, understanding his history, there will absolutely be exploitation, that the resources, somebody that he knows wants something from Nigeria. It could be a business partner, it could be a friend, it could be a said corporation, it could even be his family members. But they will invade Nigeria and exploit the people for their own benefit. And they will throw Nicki Minaj to the wolves because they could care less, they couldn't care less about that sister. The unfortunate part about all of this is that there will forever be a stain associated with this moment that this sister will have to walk with. She will 100% see bloodshed because innocent Nigerians will be harmed and even likely killed as a result of whatever is to come. And she will have that on her hands. And it is pretty sad to watch because what we know is that Trump, often uses black people and black culture to harm black people here and abroad. And it is happening in real time. And that sister is going to carry this moment with her forever. So today is a pretty sad day. It's a pretty sad day, and it won't be long before we all get to see how it unfolds. Maybe she knows, maybe she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't have anybody around her to inform her. But history tells what's going to happen. And it's, again, a pretty sad day.
Ooh, that was a word. Thank you, Tamika Mallory. He uses black culture to harm black people. And in that regard, maybe Nicki Minaj just came home again. I mean, I feel like that was spoken much better than she could have explained it herself.
Monday.com's AI blogs are a total game changer.
Excuse me if I find that hard to believe.
You know that llamas are biologically incapable of lying, right?
Does that come with knowledge?
Monday.com's AI blogs are...
Which means that trying to make it about any particular a group of people, it's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. And you guys, first of all, do you understand what I just tried to say?
Shut your stupid ass up.
There's actually a lot of parallels I see with Nicki Minaj and Stephen A. Smith. You know, because they don't want to come out like full force because of how much black support they have. So they just keep playing footsie and making it more and more. I'm like, just find the red hat. You know what I mean? Just find, because this ain't it. This ain't it. I mean, I couldn't imagine who would be out here pushing this kind of narrative from our community.
You know what's funny? These black folk, right, our black community that support followers of Nicki Minaj and actually mad at this woman because she worked with the administration and spoke out against persecuted black Christians. Do you hear what I just said?
Nigeria.
Black Christians. Y'all people are...
Africans are not black, they're African. All the nations in Africa are nations. African Americans are considered black because we had our legacy and our history and our ancestries taken from us. We don't know what generation we come from because we were enslaved. We were mixed and bred like cattle. So we don't have a clear lineage of our ancestors. We look like this, so the probability, since we look like this, that our ancestors also look like this, is why we associate ourselves with Africa. Because the vast majority of people that look like this are from Africa. So every time you hear somebody say, Africans this and oppression that, these black people, you reduce somebody that has actual status in the world down to not having status. Nigerians are not black. Nigerians are Nigerians. They are a United Nation of multiple tribes and cultures. So to call them black and try to associate them with what's going on with the African American conflict is just the work of Europeans. You're just doing their job for you. I mean, you're just doing their job for them. And if you ever really pay attention, that always happens. They always say African and then switch to black.
Are so full of hate. She worked with the administration and spoke out against persecuted black Christians. Do you hear what I just said? Black Christians.
African Christians.
Y'all people are so full of
Nigerian
hate
Christians.
for Republicans and for people you disagree with politically. It's over politics. This woman did not join the administration. That's something that's passionate to her. That there are 100,000 Christians who are black, because they are the original
Or
African
Nigerian.
Americans. They're the original. We all come from Africa. People.
So they're not black,
The person
they're
gonna say,
African.
oh, well, she don't never speak up about black African American issues. These are the original black people. Black people aren't being killed by the hundreds of thousands for their religious beliefs. You people are completely depraved, many of you in the black community. Y'all are ungodly, y'all. Some of y'all don't have a link to God. I don't care what church you go to and jump and shout.
If Americans
You
don't
don't
care
have no God.
about the adversities of the vast majority of African Americans identify as Christian, even when they're murdered in the streets of America. So if the United States government doesn't even care about the black African Americans that are being shot in the streets in America, what makes you think that they actually care about the persecution of the blacks in Africa? African Americans, despite their religion, ethnicity, their religion, their gender, their sexual orientation, whatever label you want to throw on them, African Americans in this country have a role as cheap, free labor. And the country wants us to always remain cheap, free labor. That's the reason why when you go to work as an African American, the person next to you that is not African American makes a little bit more money than you, even though y'all are doing the same job and have the same exact qualification. They just want to go to Nigeria to take the land. There's resources and valuables over there. Don't be surprised if they found lithium in Nigeria, and that's what they're after. They're always after. Whenever the United States shows any interest in an African continent, it's always for some type of raw natural resource from the earth, and they don't care that the people are there. It's literally the entire continent of Africa is Pandora. And anyone that's seen Avatar should understand that the African people are Navi. I know that there's this automatic association of the Navi with some Native American culture, but the movie was very specific. We go to places and extract the resources, and we don't care about the people. It was very specific. He did a very good job of explaining exactly how it works. Africa is Pandora, and the Nigerians right now are the Navi. Trump is using Nicki Minaj the same way that they use that soldier to justify going in there. And just like in the movie, she's gonna figure out the error of her ways and realize the mistake she made, and she's gonna want to ask and beg for forgiveness. And you know what? That'll be between Nicki Minaj and the African people. So we can just sit back and have an opinion.
In your heart, you don't have no Jesus in your heart. That you don't care, because you care more about the fact that you hate Trump than her celebrating, trying to stand up and speak out against Christians being killed in Africa by Muslims.
This video was created by AI. No expensive cameras or complicated software.
With the right tools, you can create an
Hey, Amanda Seals, we got some cleanup from the Jubilee debate. Now he back out again. I know, I heard what they said about his jacket. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. It's Thanksgiving time, so you know what that means.
eggs, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb,
Praise the Lord God. Tomatoes, turkeys.
Keita Rose is saying.
Reliable and compact. But
Hello, and thank you for watching and listening to another episode of Podcasting with Keita Rose. Here we dare to use our voices, have the audacity to own who we are, and vow, raise up your roses, we vow to never stop, never shrink, and most importantly,
shut up. It's just not gonna happen.
like, share, subscribe to my comments. You know, tell me how you really feel. Hit that bell notification so I can pop up on your timeline and hype this video up if you can. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you guys how I really feel about this. Once was really cool guy in his 20s turned 45 to 50-year-old flexer, right? Turned like to pipeline from like cool guy, had all the women, was real sexy, looking good, to like older loser, still wants to have it, still out here doing that it looks stupid, pipeline. And I want to talk about that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like the guys that were 18, 20 years old, and all the women thought that they were so cool, but now they're 45, still talking about what they did in high school, still talking about how they used to flip bricks, and it was out there making money. It was white bricks.
All white bricks. Tall, off white bricks. All tan bricks.
And it's like now these guys should be golfing, should be, you know, spending time at the country club, should be investing in businesses and having multiple businesses, big corporations, but instead they have hips now, right? They're wearing skinny jeans and lots of chains. They look like how they did at 20, except now they have hips. They have hips, they have fuller breasts, and they still got it. They still out here flexing.
They still out here doing what they gotta do, shall we? They throwing them bad stars.
We're gonna talk about that. Because I find it incredibly interesting. So the first person that comes to mind when I talk about that is Kevin Gates. I'm not even gonna lie. I am and was a big fan of Kevin Gates' music. Well, I'm more so was a fan of his old music. I don't really know what's going on now.
Don't touch me there. This there, my no square.
I don't know nothing about that. I really don't. But I was a really big fan of his music. But who I was more a fan of, and I think a lot of women can relate, was his wife, Drika. Right? I even had an interview with Drika. Everything you think she is, she is. She smells nice. She is nice. She's beautiful naturally. She's amazing. She truly, truly is. It was an amazing interview. If you're not a member, join my membership and you'll be able to see the full interview. But nonetheless, everybody was a fan of Kevin Gates and Drika's relationship. It seemed to be genuine. They were high school sweethearts. They had 2 kids together. He managed. He dropped everything. This is important. She dropped everything in order to manage his career, in order to help him out. She even said that she's the one that kind of urged him to take it seriously because she saw his talent and, she saw that he was doing it kind of like a hobby, but she wanted him to take it serious.
And so I just went to him, I'm like, what do you think about taking it serious? Like, do that. And he's like, sure, why not? And that just gave me the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would just kind of run with it. And so I started reaching out to people. I was the one that was getting dressed and going to the clubs at night and the movies to DJ because this was pre-social media. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. This was boots on the ground. This is I'm out here shaking hands, kissing babies, hugs, all of that. So it was really just like about connecting the dots, finding the right people, going to them. Hey, like, listen.
Put her boots on the ground. This was before social media. This was like in the early 2000s. She put her boots on the ground and passing out his mixtape. Y'all remember when you used to go to the mall or go to the movie theater and rappers would pass out their mixtape because they wanted you to listen to it? It wasn't here, download this link or stream my music on SoundCloud or Spotify. It wasn't none of that back in the day. Back in the day, the LimeWire days, people were passing out their mixtapes, and Drika was a big reason why Kevin Gates got big. She was a big part of his success. And she's, mind you, even when we talked in our interview, she's never talked down on him. She's never disrespected him. So it's not like she's resentful. It's not like she's like, I'm the reason why you got it. Never heard that again. She doesn't even try to do that type of woman. But there is a good amount of women that left everything, dropped everything, did not work on their career, did not go to school, did not do what they wanted to do or follow their dreams or aspirations because they were with a man and they were pouring their all into that man. There are a lot of women that have that story. I don't know if that's Drika's story. Maybe she was able to do everything she wanted to do. Maybe she doesn't feel resentment at all. Maybe she doesn't feel bitterness. I don't get that from her. She's very unbothered. Drika's an unbothered queen.